Welcome back to Sanatan Puranas. Today, we journey back in time, to an age of rage and righteousness, long before the era of Sri Rama. We explore the story of the warrior sage, the man who was fury incarnate, a figure so formidable that his name echoed with fear across the lands. This is the tale of Parashurama, the sixth avatar of Vishnu. He was the Brahmin who wielded an axe, a sage who became a warrior, and the man who single-handedly cleansed the earth of a corrupt and arrogant ruling class not once, not twice, but 21 times over. His story is a brutal, visceral, and absolutely fascinating chapter in our history, a testament to the idea that when adharma rises, divinity will descend to restore balance, sometimes in its most terrifying form. Before we delve into this epic saga, make sure you are subscribed to Sanatan Puranas and have turned on notifications, so you don't miss our explorations into the grand tapestry of our ancient stories. Our story begins not with a cataclysmic battle, but in the serene ashram of a great sage named Jamadagni. He was a descendant of the revered sage Bhrigu, and his wife was the devoted and virtuous Renuka. Together, they had 5 sons, the youngest of whom was named Rama. This was not the Rama of Ayodhya, but Rama of the Bhargava clan, a boy who showed immense devotion and an incredible aptitude for spiritual discipline from a very young age. He was a dutiful son and a brilliant student, mastering the Vedas and the arts of meditation under his father's guidance. His path seemed destined for a life of peaceful austerity, a life of a Brahmin scholar. But destiny had a different, more violent, and world-altering plan for him. To fulfill this destiny, he needed a weapon unlike any other. Young Rama undertook a severe penance, meditating deep in the Himalayas to please Lord Shiva. His tapasya was so intense, so focused, that the great Mahadeva himself appeared before him. Impressed by the boy's unwavering resolve and purity of purpose, Shiva granted him a divine weapon, a formidable battle axe, or parashu. From that day forward, Rama, son of Jamadagni, would be known as Parashurama, the Rama with the axe. This was not just a weapon, it was a symbol of divine justice, an instrument forged to carve a new path for Dharma. Parashurama returned to his father's ashram, his divine axe in hand, but continued to live the life of a devoted son and sage. The storm was gathering, but the world was not yet aware of the force it was about to reckon with. The catalyst for this storm came in the form of a powerful and arrogant king of the Haihaya dynasty, Kartavirya Arjuna. He was not an ordinary king, he was a mighty emperor with 1,000 arms, a boon granted to him by the deity Dattatreya for his penance. Initially, Kartavirya Arjuna was a righteous ruler, but absolute power corrupted him absolutely. He became a tyrant, believing himself to be invincible, above all laws, both human and divine. One day, while on a hunting expedition, the king and his vast army grew weary and hungry. They stumbled upon the humble hermitage of sage Jamadagni. True to his dharma, Jamadagni welcomed the king and his entire retinue with the utmost hospitality. He was able to feed the massive army thanks to a divine, wish-fulfilling cow named Surabi, also known as Kamadhenu. This celestial cow could produce an endless supply of delicious and nourishing food and drink. The king was astonished and filled with greed. He had never seen such a marvel. Blinded by his arrogance, Kartavirya Arjuna demanded that the sage hand over the divine cow. He argued that such a treasure belonged in the royal treasury, not in the possession of a poor forest-dwelling Brahmin. Jamadagni politely refused. He explained that Surabi was essential for his rituals and for the sustenance of the ashram. She was not a possession to be traded or given away. Infuriated by the sage's refusal, the tyrant king forgot all decorum. He ordered his soldiers to seize the celestial cow by force. In the ensuing chaos, his soldiers, in their brutal effort to drag away the crying cow, destroyed the serene ashram. Jamadagni, a sage of immense power, could have cursed the king to ashes but chose restraint. Parashurama was not at the ashram when this happened. When he returned to find his home ransacked, his father distressed, and the divine cow stolen, a primal rage awakened within him. It was a rage born not of personal insult, but of the violation of dharma. A king, a kshatriya, whose sworn duty was to protect sages and their property, had instead become the aggressor. Parashurama, grabbing his celestial axe, pursued the king and his army. What followed was not a battle, it was a slaughter. he single-handedly confronted Kartavirya Arjuna's entire military force. The very ground trembled as he moved. With swings of his divine axe, he cut through battalions like a farmer harvesting wheat. Finally, he faced the 1,000-armed king himself. Kartavirya Arjuna, confident in his boon, unleashed a volley of weapons from his many hands. But Parashurama, an avatar of Vishnu and a warrior trained by Shiva, was a force of nature. He systematically sliced off each of the king's 1,000 arms with his axe, and then, with one final, decisive blow, he ended the tyrant's life. He reclaimed the divine cow Surabi and brought her back to his father's ashram. When he told his father what he had done, he expected praise for avenging the injustice. Instead, his father, sage Jamadagni, reprimanded him. He told Parashurama that a Brahmin should be defined by forgiveness, not vengeance. By giving in to his rage and killing a king, he had committed a great sin. To atone for this sin of violence, Jamadagni instructed his son to go on a pilgrimage to holy places across the land. The dutiful son obeyed, leaving his axe and his anger behind to seek purification. But the seeds of vengeance had been sown, and the cycle of violence was far from over. The sons of Kartavirya Arjuna were not forgiving. They wanted revenge for their father's death. Finding the ashram undefended with Parashurama away on his pilgrimage, they saw their chance. They stormed the hermitage and, in a craven act of cowardice, they attacked the defenseless sage Jamadagni. The peace-loving sage, deep in meditation, offered no resistance. They brutally murdered him, fulfilling their bloodlust. Parashurama's mother, Renuka, cried out in anguish, beating her chest 21 times in her grief. When Parashurama returned from his pilgrimage, he was met with the most horrific sight imaginable. His father was dead, his mother was weeping inconsolably, and the ashram was stained with his father's lifeblood. The rage he had felt before was but a flickering candle compared to the inferno that now consumed his very soul. As he looked at his grieving mother and heard her cries, he made a terrible, world-shaking vow. He vowed that he would not rest until he had purged the entire earth of the corrupt kshatriya caste, the warrior ruler class that had become so arrogant and so steeped in adharma that they would murder an unarmed, meditating sage. His mother had struck her chest 21 times in her grief. So, he swore he would circumnavigate the globe 21 times, and on each circuit, he would eradicate every last trace of the arrogant and tyrannical kshatriyas he encountered. What followed was a campaign of annihilation on a scale the world had never seen. Parashurama, his face a mask of cold fury, traveled from kingdom to kingdom, his axe dispensing brutal, swift justice. He was an unstoppable force. Kings, princes, and entire armies fell before him. The kshatriya clans who had forgotten their duty, who used their power to exploit the weak and disrespect the righteous, were systematically wiped out. He hunted them down in their palaces, on the battlefields, and in their hideouts. The earth was drenched red, and he filled 5 large lakes with the blood of the slain at a place that came to be known as Samanta Panchaka. This was not a war for territory or for wealth. It was a cosmic cleansing, a divine reset button pressed with terrifying force. After completing his vow, 21 times over, Parashurama, the warrior monk, performed a grand yajna, a fire ceremony, to atone for the immense violence he had unleashed. He then gave away all the lands he had conquered to the sage Kashyapa, renouncing all worldly claims. He had no desire to rule, his only purpose had been to uproot adharma. Having fulfilled his grim destiny, Parashurama retreated to the Mahendra mountains to continue his penance, living as an immortal sage. His rage was pacified, his purpose served. But his story doesn't end there. As a Chiranjeevi, an immortal, his presence continues to be felt throughout the ages. He appears again in the Mahabharata, as a guru to great warriors like Bhishma, Drona, and Karna, teaching them the art of celestial weaponry. He even encounters his successor, the next avatar of Vishnu, Sri Rama of Ayodhya. In a famous incident, he challenges the young prince for breaking Shiva's bow, but upon realizing Rama's divinity, he acknowledges the end of his own active role and peacefully departs. The story of Parashurama is a stark reminder of the dual nature of the divine. It can be compassionate and gentle, but it can also be wrathful and destructive when righteousness is threatened. He is the ultimate archetype of the Brahminical fury, the embodiment of the principle that spiritual power, when pushed to its limit by injustice, can transform into a martial force more potent than any army. His tale is a complex one, a warning against the arrogance of power and a testament to the lengths to which Dharma will go to restore balance in the world. What do you think about Parashurama's actions? Was his brutal campaign of vengeance justified as a necessary evil to restore order? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into our past. If you found this story fascinating, please like this video and share it with others who appreciate the profound depths of Sanatana Dharma. Don't forget to subscribe to Sanatan Puranas for more stories from the rich ocean of our Puranic lore. We'll see you in the next video.